about the kingdom music. Let's talk about the kingdom. Come on and say what's on your mind. Let's talk about the kingdom.
Hello everybody, welcome to Let's Talk Kingdom Music with Princess K. Wow, this is a brand new week. I am excited. I hope you are excited. Do not move an inch. Stay tuned because somebody very important is on the set today. Meanwhile, I hope you're following us in all social media. Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, Facebook, and subscribe on our YouTube channel. And when you subscribe, comment. Your comment might bring you on the set. When you subscribe, you see our post every week. Stay tuned. And before I go forward, I'm going to welcome my two co-hosts. And one is Edward Ochuko, Emirate Global Chief Executive Officer.
Princess K. This title you are giving me, maybe you will add money to this title.
Your clothes, your dressing, what thing?
Global 1 billion naira. Chief Post 1 billion naira.
Or me will give you, or you will give to me.
You will give me.
I thought because I called you.
I don't know what you come with money. You can't give me arrow without money now. So give me the arrow, you have money to eat.
How you doing, sir?
I'm good. How you doing also?
You look amazing.
You're looking fresh.
Thank God.
Fresh.
It's the glory of I heard the song say, it's the glory of the Lord. Is it? I don't know how to say it, but you know what I'm trying to say.
We thank God for everything.
Last week. Last week. Wow. I don't even know what to say.
Everything here. Jesus.
Because at a point, I need the jacket. I need the blanket. I was shivering. You know, the cold. You know, the...
Thank God for this platform. Thank God for this platform. Because a lot of things that people don't know about, they need to learn. We need to learn.
I hope you're listening to that.
We need to learn.
This is a platform for knowledge. Serious knowledge. Because we went from first class to PhD class to history. But let me welcome somebody else.
Okay.
Please help me welcome this person.
I will not welcome her.
Why?
Because I know when you have a friend and a friend claim that his name is Wed.
He claimed that he's worthy.
Okay. And I don't know, you can never test him. When I test him, I know whether it is Wed or not. But anyway, I want to welcome somebody. The person say
my co-host.
The person say his name is John Wed.
The person say you don't know the name of your
Let me know welcome
Please pardon.
No, Princess Kim. Don't worry. You know, the money I sent to him last week, you will do the fund.
Your camera.
There's a bad statement. I sent you 3.2 trillion naira. 3.2 trillion naira. You will do the fund. It's good to see you again, Emira. I hope you are not breaking table today.
No, never.
Last week he couldn't move.
He was just freeze.
He was free.
When they took him to another room, when he was like to the history part, like he was like, so this is how far we've come.
I look at him like
the good side of it, we are having somebody special again on this week.
The history maker.
No.
The history breaker. What will you put it?
We want to respect somebody. I need to say the track record of the person. Somebody who has been there, still there, still remain,
and make him wait.
And still going. So you begin to, this is what they call the living legends. These are people we can really point to say yes, to look up to become like them. And I thank God for the privilege that we are having one of them today as our guest.
You see, hear that?
As our guest.
You know, we don't need to honor our legends when they've gone. When they are alive, we still need to respect them and honor them. So this person, like he said, is somebody that I've done a lot. That I've also.
And he's still doing.
He's still doing. And you know, there is something about him that I would say, like, you know, like the guest we have last week. When you are doing something differently from the normal thing everybody does, you understand, and you don't care what people say. You keep doing it, knowing that you are doing the right thing, and at the end of the day, people will come to appreciate it.
In a place, I was in a place when I call and he say Baba. That is what it is. He say Baba.
Sometimes we have one guest, we also talk about this guest we have today. And he was talking a lot of good
things about him.
Is he righteous man?
Yeah, of course.
Let me break the
good thing about this person. And today, the person don't show up. Please. We tell you always, focus on this program. Same time, same week on this station. And follow us on all our social media handle so you can be enjoying the rice and stew that is being prepared under the atmosphere of the suffocated.
Tell us who we are.
Please join me as we welcome Buchi.
Is it really real time?
Welcome, sir.
Welcome, sir.
Thank you.
We are so excited, and we are excited. I'm like, did you fly back?
Good to have you, sir.
Thank you. Good to be here.
A great privilege to have you on this station. Thank you so much. I've heard a lot about you. We don't know where to start from. But for the Jay-Z, how they call them? Gen Z.
JZ.
Z. More about who is Buchi?
Buchi is a writer and a singer of gospel music, especially in a peculiar genre that is reggae music. It began about 30 years ago. Wow. About 30 years ago. And still ongoing.
Still ongoing.
Yeah.
Some people there, I don't know if you were born then. Did I tell anybody? I didn't call any name.
I'm still running under the rain.
I'm just saying.
That's only natural, yeah? Like the laborers in the vineyard, some will come by 6 a.m., some at noon, some at 9 or 3 p.m.
Yeah.
Like some people came in the night. We are in the morning.
Okay. The important thing is we get the job done.
Right.
And we get equally remunerated, yes?
Right.
By the owner of the work.
At the first time I heard your music, I was grown, let me say it that way. And it was amazing because, as a gospel in the gospel kingdom, you don't even hear, we only know reggae as Bob Marley, Raskimono, and this one just came, and we are
and they have the gospel
house.
in it.
We're in the same house where you came from, so we are brothers and sisters.
Oh, yeah.
So when I heard it, I was like, what? And it was like a fresh
Sound.
wine, like something so glorious, beautiful, and we're all rocking it that time. I was even using it to do praise and worship. So then, it was amazing, and I am so excited that you're sitting here today. So you guys will have a
lot. We don't want you to finish.
I'm so excited, so I'll give you a chance a little bit before I commence.
Okay. So he just told us that 30 years back, 30 years back down the line, and he says standing. How come? How you stay down? Let me use that. What is there behind it?
Because some people start before you know it, you will not hear anything about them again.
God doesn't die. The word of God does not die. Whatsoever is born of God overcomes the world, overcomes time.
Right.
If God is in it, it will remain fresh.
Amen.
And it will remain relevant. If God is in it, it will remain relevant. It makes no difference how long.
Right.
I mean, we're just talking 30 years.
Right.
Somebody wrote Amazing Grace, How Sweet the Sound centuries ago.
And it's still relevant today.
Up till today. And it might interest you to know that slave trade the world over came to a stop because of that song, Amazing Grace, How Sweet the Sound. For somebody to achieve that much with one song, one gospel song, centuries ago, until date, that song still reverberates in churches and Christian gatherings every now and then. Okay? The writer of that song, John Newton, met William Wilberforce, a young politician in the Assembly of the United Kingdom back in the days. He was struck by the song, the presence of God in the song. So he looked for the writer and met Newton. Like somebody wants to meet with Buchi, or somebody wants to meet with this gospel singer, and met with him. The impact of that meeting, the young politician, the young parliamentarian left that day saying to himself, I'm not going to be a politician anymore. I've given my life to Christ, and I'm just going to follow after preaching the word. But John Newton said to him, go into the parliament and be a minister of God in the parliament, in politics where you are. Same thing these days, in business where you are, in the classroom where you are, as a teacher, as a trader. Take your gospel to those places. Everybody doesn't have to become a pastor. Everybody doesn't have to become a bishop.
Right.
Yes? But when you've received the gospel, take it to your area. Take it to the market. Take it. And that's what he told him that day. That young man went back into the parliament. And guess what? He was convicted that slavery was wrong, even though he was a white boy. And from that day until he passed, he championed the campaign against slave trade.
Wow.
When just because of a song. When he eventually achieved it, 2 or 3 years after slave trade was abolished, he passed on to be with the Lord. So you could see he found his calling in life through a gospel song. Yes? If people like that, and if songs like that would remain relevant over centuries, how much more? We are talking 30 years. Right. There's yet more room.
That is wonderful. You know, listening to your songs, like it was something different from what
Hold that thoughts. We're going to go on a short break. Don't forget what I'm about to say. And when we come back, we will dissect about the songs, right? The songs. All right, let's go. Stay tuned and don't move an inch.
It is inspiring.
Gifts is just like a support to a man's call.
It is educating.
Understand where God has called you to function.
It is dramatic.
Like your work, you
Join us every Sunday for an intriguing moment on the following channels: Go TV Channel 140, Free TV Channel 505, Terrestrial UHF 42, Star Times Channel 130. Time: 7 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. Visit www.lets.kingdommusic.com. You can also download all Princess K's songs from the website. Subscribe and follow us on our channel and social media handles, YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. For sponsorship and advert placement, please call 070-640-54983, 0815-323-1363. Let's talk Kingdom Music.
Let's talk about the kingdom.
Welcome to Let's Talk Kingdom Music with Princess K, one and only. I'm chilling with my wonderful people, Edward Chuko, the Chief Executive Officer of the offices, and the world's wealthy man, Music International, and one and only Right here. Welcome, sir.
Thank you.
And he was about to ask you a question before we go on break.
Yeah, listening to your own genre of music, it was different from the traditional music we grew up with, because like Princess K said, when you hear Rasta man, you know what you expect. You expect that long, like that with, that kind of a thing with the dread and the look and the man, you already know that. And when you hear those, they have their own sound. Let me use that word. Their own sound. And whenever you hear that sound, you begin to throw one leg. The next thing that comes to mind is the weed or whatever. But when I heard your song for the first time many years ago, I was expected to. I've even started to throw the leg, and I was expected to it's going something. The lyrics changes who is this person? Come, you understand? I have to stop for a moment and listen well.
Are you sure you were born then?
Well, I told you I'm celebrating my 70th birthday. So you understand, and it was not easy, me personally, to accept that. Though I love this sound, but personally, it was not easy for me because I already have that ideology that whenever I hear this song or hear this sound, it's like this. You understand? So how did you get any backlash?
I love the sincerity. I love this sincerity. Even though people applauded at that time, there were people who didn't accept it. There were people who thought it was a joke. There were people who thought it was something was just not right. I had an uncle who said, I told you people that this guy's salvation is suspect. And what do you mean singing the gospel in reggae? And he sent somebody to me to say, go and tell him. When he's ready to repent, we will know. For now, he just found his way into church. But anyways, I grew up listening to reggae music. And I loved reggae music passionately. There are a lot of misconceptions about reggae as a sound. There is nothing synonymous with reggae and weed.
Exactly.
Because you see, a lot of people do weed and even harder drugs. But reggae talks about it a lot because of the lot. That's the one that comes from nature itself, the natural herb. And so, because of their obsession, I should say, with nature, reggae talks about weed a lot, and of course, people smoke. I did smoke also, when I was
in the world.
Because I was in
the origin of the reggae comes from the Caribbean, where they grow that stuff a lot. Go ahead.
There is more weed in Akure. Yes, there is more weed being grown in Akure, in Ogbese, than
even in Jamaica.
I never know that.
Okay, yes, Nigeria
produces weed being grown in Delta, Obiaruku, and all of those places than in those places.
In those places,
all right. But it's let's just say it's everywhere. I was a nightclub DJ coming up at the same time. What a combination! I was also a young lecturer in the university. Wow. I was doing a PhD program after my master's program, and so Unilag retained me as a graduate assistant to lecture in the Department of English, Unilag. And while I was doing that, because of my love and my passion for reggae music, and by the way, I was in the Reggae International Club of Unilag, because of my passion, I would go after reggae music wherever it was. And at that time, it was at Rockers FM at the time. Don't worry, I know you will know. And then it moved to a place called the Floating Booker. The floating buka was on a ship berthed on Marina,
Okay.
Lagos Island. And at that time, the son of the Oba of Lagos was the one running floating buka. Oba Oyekon. Yes?
Is it like a restaurant?
Bade Oyekon. It was a club.
Okay, club.
A nightclub.
Okay.
But
Looks like
after
a
that,
cruise ship or something.
my group, called the Massive Dread Group, I joined the Massive Dread afterwards. But at that time, the Massive Dread took over the club. And it became a reggae nightclub every Friday. And I would go there every Friday to just hang out and have fun. Listen to a lot of reggae music and calypso. Now, at a time, the second DJ, resident DJ, relocated to the UK. And the resident DJ at the time, Ras Kimono, had to come to me and invite me to join him as a resident DJ in the floating buka. By then he had no album. He had not recorded any song. And this was in 1986, 87, thereabout. So I joined him. I became a nightclub DJ, even though I was also a lecturer. But long story short, many years down the line, the floating buka sank. The boat sank. Our club went down. And with that...
Is that literally or really? Or
literally, it went down, yes.
Really?
The boat sank. Let me not talk about that now. But we suspect sabotage. But the boat sank anyway. When that boat sank, and that part of me went down the sea, I was roaming around looking for satisfaction. It was at that point I found Christ. I met Christ, I should say. He found me. It was at that point I met Christ. And I transited from the nightclub to the choir of my church at the time. I didn't enjoy music in the church, but I knew that I had to stay. By the way, I was raised in Sunday school, so I understand that music doesn't have to be the way you have it in the club. But curiously, I was in a congregation where they welcomed with liberty any kind of expression that would give God glory. And so the pastor one day said, I want to do a jingle. I want to go and minister to people who are not in church. Not just these people who come to church every day. I want to take the gospel to the ghettos, the streets. Who can make me a song that the people in the street will accept?
That's when God called you. God already know you are there.
Who can make me a song? That's right.
You already know you are there. Then no opportunity
A song that the people in the streets would not call a church song. Who can make me a song that the people in the ghetto and in the streets would accept? I put up my hand. And he said, have you done it before? I said, I've been a nightclub DJ. And so he said, go ahead and do it. And so I did a song. That was a jingle at the time, which the then Pastor Chris Oyakilome took to that outreach. It was called Fusion. And I remember doing Fusion. Come again, Fusion. They say, Rongo, tell your friends, say Fusion, come again. Man, Buchi. You know, I was doing the toast and doing the raga thing, and he saw it and liked it very much. Took it, played it, advertised the crusade, the outreach, and it was successful. And then he said to me, do you realize that you can actually reach your world through this sound? I was so glad, because I was always sitting dutifully in the third or fourth row, singing my alto in church to songs that I didn't really enjoy, but as a matter of duty, I had to do. But when it was time for me to sing, one day I was told, there's a concert coming up, and it's called More Than Music. Can you do a song in that concert? I said, why not? And you know, that was a big opening for me. Before now, I had written a poem titled, What a Mighty God We Serve. He created Africa, Europe, and America. Asia and Australia are the works of his hands. The mountains, the valleys, and the deep blue sea are the works of Jehovah Nissi. So when he said, do a song, and I asked when, they said in 4 days' time. It was the poem I had written that I turned into What a mighty God, what a mighty God we serve. He created Africa, Europe and America, Asia and Australia, the works of his hand, the mountain valleys and the deep blue sea are the works of Jehovah Nissi. So how big is God?
This song did something to
and
me,
that was it.
That
was it. It was my response to a need at the time. So I didn't sing reggae because I wanted a style that was different from what everybody else was doing. I sang in reggae because that was all I knew to do. And when I was called upon to sing, I had to sing in the style that I had internalized over the years.
So, did he answer your question?
Not just if only you know the man you are sitting next to. You know me. There are much things I know about many people due to maybe my line of business and all that, and many years of practicing my business. So I already know Buchi, knows much about him. Even, you understand, there are some things you will say here that is not surprising to me.
Let's go on a short break. I don't like to cut you short. You're my brother. I have to cut you. We're going on to a break.
Me and you, we will wear one trouser here one day. Me and you will wear trouser on this program one day.
Sorry, I am very sorry. So cut it there.
It is inspiring.
Gifts is just like a support to a man's call.
It is educating.
Understand where God has called you to function.
It is dramatic.
Like your work too. You people.
Join us every Sunday for an intriguing moment on the following channels: Go TV channel 140, Free TV channel 505, Terrestrial UHF 42, Star Times channel 130. Time 7 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. Visit www.lets.kingdommusic.com. You can also download all Princess K's songs from the website. Subscribe and follow us on our channel and social media handles, YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. For sponsorship and advert placement, please call 070-640-54983, 0815-323-1363. Let's talk Kingdom Music.
Let's talk about the kingdom. Yeah.